Yeah, 310. 410. Doing gang things. Living super clean. Dead and came up. Can't control us. One time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. One time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy. Could've turned out like your homeboy. Been on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lot with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had goal. Brand new you on the old time road. Take care of home where you bust your low. Black men don't teach screaming bumpy hoe. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. One time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had a slow start screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work gets it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty rolls. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 2020 twins, so you passing out the info. But no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't throwing nothing on Mercedes Benz. Won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God, who is that man? This real man talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom while you peak these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah, doing cane things. Living super clean. Daddy came up.
1 time for my kings doing king things. Mom these hoes cause you know he got a good thing. I submit and I cook and I clean and I never hold back on that wop. I'ma let it rain. Made me honest, I got a ring. All praises to the most high, let it sing. A real man able, sister never came. And I ain't going nowhere, this is not a game. Look at you, girl, you lonely right now. Settling for bums instead of in the most high. He provide and protect so he get our respect. And he leading us aboard when them chariots fly. I don't really think you hear me though. You can't cross this bridge on some billy goats. Let them save you in the end like a Seminole. Be his help me, shout it, let the silly go.
1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord, saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono. Ooh, that was loud. Okay. Good evening, you guys. What is going on? Shalom and shalom, Keek the Chef. Thank you for joining me. All praises to the Most High for this beautiful Thursday evening. I hope that you are safe wherever you are. The tornadoes were going ham this week. So yes, the tornadoes were going ham this week, but we've been okay here. Like, we got some rain today, but that's about it. All praises to the Most High. Just a little rain, nothing serious. Wasn't any tornadoes or anything like that. So if you were affected, we are definitely praying for you. Hope that it wasn't too bad. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry, I gotta put my phone up on the IG. Monologue McGad, ladies and gentlemen. Producer, co-host, all that good stuff. Everything that he does. I could not do what I do without him. It's the man who makes it all possible, honestly. All right. Angelina, thank you, sis. I gotta switch it up every now and then. Switch my wig, make him feel like he's cheating. You know what I'm saying? For those of y'all that caught that, switch my wig, make him feel like he's cheating. Make him feel like he's cheating. Not I'm cheating. I'm okay with how I look every day. Thank you so much, sis. Thank you. All right, you guys. I hope that you all, again, are having a pleasant Thursday. Thank you so much for being with me. I realize you could be anywhere on this worldwide internet, but you are here with me. And I appreciate that so much. In case this is your first time here, please allow me to introduce myself. I am at Miss Mono's World in these content creator streets, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all the good things. I mess with the threads a little bit. Like, it just seems like more homework. And did y'all see like Instagram's big announcement where they're not feeding your feed directly to the people who follow you? They're like feeding your stuff to new people. Like, they're just putting it out to new people. Your followers, the people who are like, oh, I like this person's content, I want to see more of their content. Yeah, those people aren't going to see your content anymore. Boo. That is so stupid. But so they're targeting it to, new people. I have stopped posting on Instagram so much. The only reason my posts make it to Instagram as much as they do is because I share them through Facebook. And I don't know what's going on with Instagram. They keep messing with the algorithms and everything. I don't know. But I'm at Miss Mono's World. Please feel free to check out my content. And just in case you're new here, or please allow me to reintroduce my husband, the one and only Monologue McGad, ladies and gentlemen. He's everywhere on these content creator streets as well. Facebook, Instagram, a little bit of the TikTok, the YouTube. If you're not on the YouTube, please head over to the YouTube at Monologue McGad, MONOLOGMAGAD. MONOLOGMAGAD. You can check out old and new podcast episodes. You can also check out visuals that go with the music. You can catch the music on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, wherever you stream your music. Okay. Speaking of husbands, so shout out to all the hardworking husbands out there. I know nobody works as hard as mine, but shout out to y'all if you just getting up and getting to it, as my husband says. Okay, shout out to my audience on the Nasaya TV. If you're watching me on the Nasaya TV, thank you so much. If you have not downloaded the Nasaya TV app, please go ahead and do that. You can download it on your Roku, your smart TVs, your Apple Fire Stick thingamajiggers. If you can't pull it up on a TV, or you're just not at home, Nasaya.tv will give you the same content on your laptop. Not just me, lots of righteous content creators, and then they just have good old cartoons and movies and videos for the kids. So be sure to check out Nasaya TV. Okay. All right. Angelina. Oh, listen, babes, the braids is in effect for F3, okay? The braids is already in effect. Like I this was like a trial run. So I wanted to see where I wanted to go for F3. This is the direction I'm going to keep leaning in, probably with some different colors. Okay, but yeah, listen, F3 last year. I'm not going to be running around as much as I was last year. Like, prayerfully, I'll be able to be more stationary this year, but I know I'm still going to be active. It's still going to be hot. I'm going to want to walk around and meet and shake hands and hug babies and stuff like that. So, yes, the braids will be in effect. If you're in the Metro ATL area and you want your braids done, please let me know. I will hook you up with my stylist, okay? She hooked it right on up. Nikki, shalom and shalom. Thank you for joining me, sis. Thank y'all so much for joining me this evening. I really appreciate each and every one of y'all. I just want to let y'all know that from the bottom of my heart. I really do. Truth Be Told, Flex Podcast, shalom and shalom. That's the family over there. Thank y'all so much for checking in. All right. So our main topic for today, we're gonna have a great show for you, by the way. Our main topic is You Think You Him, and it's kind of like a continuation of our topic from last week. You think you have a penis? Yes, we're going to be discussing masculinity in our sisters and how we can deal with that. Last week it was kind of centered around this video that was shocking enough. It needed to be discussed, but so now we're going to just talk about it from a different way. But first, we have to get to our side stories. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. Make sure you are sharing, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. Please click the share button, hit the like button for me. I appreciate that. All right, so our side stories. Yes, we are going to talk about the Met Gala, or what I heard referred to on TikTok today as the Illuminati prom. Never heard it called the Illuminati prom, although it fits. So we're going to talk about the Met Gala. We're going to talk about a new white enclave in Baton Rouge. I think that's how you say it. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We're going to talk about the new white enclave there. But before we get to that, I want to talk about a teacher who has went viral on TikTok. Let me pull this up. Let me get this video queued up for you guys. Now, the video that I have is him responding to people who had a problem with what you're about to see. Okay, it's a black male teacher, and he has, I think it was a total like 4 or 5 of his black female students taking his hair loose. He said he had a hair appointment after school, and so he asked this group of girls who were his students to take his hair loose for him. He did it on TikTok Live, and apparently the people were moved. Okay, the people were moved. So we are going to take a look at his response to that, and then we'll discuss it. Okay.
Shall we? Last Friday, 10 minutes before dismissal time, I decided to live stream my students helping me take my hair out. There was quite the discourse in the chat, which had people saying this was inappropriate and other people saying this was completely fine. There was nothing wrong with what I was doing, and people were just making it weird. So of course I had to bring this issue to the stage. I would like to represent myself in this case, Your Honor, if I may. Number one, for a little context, I had a hair appointment immediately after school, and I needed my hair taken out beforehand. I would have taken it out the night before, but that Friday we had a camera shoot a promotional video, and I was one of the ones being interviewed. So I had to look presentable, so I didn't take my hair out. I didn't have the time to do it all myself, because it would have forever. So naturally I asked about 4 or 5 of my over 100 best friends to assist me in taking my hair out, and they all agreed. Number 2, this was at the end of class. This week we were doing STEM fair presentations. Since it was Friday and all of my students did an excellent job on their STEM fair projects and presentations, I told them if we get one solid presentation in class a little early and they can have fun and play basketball, darts, or be on their phone. Okay, so it's like 4 minutes of him explaining. I don't think we need to, see the whole thing. So
At first, I was like, what's wrong with this? I didn't see anything wrong with it. It was on TikTok Live. It was a group of girls. It wasn't just one little girl. It was a group of girls. They were taking his hair loose. Again, it's on. It's being broadcast live for everybody to see. I did not initially, and I'm still not sure that I do necessarily see anything wrong with it. Now, I did try to ask myself, like, how would I feel if my daughter came home and told me her and a group of her friends took their teacher's hair loose because he had to go get his hair done at, after school? I don't know. I don't know. And yes, I have daughters. Yes, I love my daughters very much. But also, I can't say that I would be mad about that. Um, I feel like if anything, this would be an example of how Black girls and Black boys can have platonic relationships. Like, the teacher wasn't being inappropriate. You saw his hands were in front of him the whole time. And it was a group of girls. Again, it wasn't just one girl that he ducked off into a classroom and was like, hey, take my hair loose. No, it was a group of kids, a group of girls that decided to come together and like say, hey, let's take let's take the teacher's hair loose. What makes it weird is the day in which we are living. So many people have different agendas. Yes, and so I can totally understand that part as well. Because when I was discussing this with my mother, her first thing was like, no, absolutely not. That I would be up at that school the next day because that is not what I sent my child to school for. And I get it. Yes, I get, and it's so sad, right? It's so sad that you have to think that this man could possibly be grooming your daughter in front of her friends. It's sad, and so I get it. And people are, I don't know if you've been on TikTok today, but this is like, between this and the BBL Drizzy remakes, this is all the commotion on TikTok. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Of course, I always want to protect my children. Honestly, I would have to defer to their dad for this one, because one thing I have learned, and I have had to admit since I've been married, like I told y'all, me and my husband talk, like that's my best friend. Like, if it's anything that I gotta tell anybody, I'm gonna tell him, and we just have very frank conversations. And I've just become aware of the fact that my female brain does not think in any way like a male brain. Okay. I had like my friends growing up were boys. I climbed trees, and you know what I'm saying? I wasn't always a girly girl, as you would say. So most of my friends end up being guys. Are you coming to chime in?
Just real quick.
Okay, monologue McGad, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I would have to throw it to you because I don't know how to feel about this.
I think certain things is just case by case basis, man. I don't know the dude, but watching the video, it seemed innocent. We know people who do hair. I have a niece who does hair that's around the same age as these people. They're the same age as those girls. You know what I'm saying? Men, boys, all of that. So, like I said, it's because of the world we live in, everything is just like a man could be holding his daughter. And, oh my gosh, he got that girl on his lap. Woo, woo, woo. So it's just kind of like, I know everybody been through their different situations, their different things, but everybody hasn't.
Right.
So it ain't no one answer, just to be real, ain't no one answer. For somebody, this is heck no.
Yeah.
For somebody else, it's kind of like, bro, I don't have no problem. I know this dude, so cool, woo. My daughter's raised this way, listen that. Like, I don't got no problem. But we have to realize this as a community and as a people, so we stop judging everybody based on our things.
Mm-hmm.
Some people was touched as little kids. Some people was raped, was sexually harassed. Some people wasn't. Some people had uncles on some freaky stuff. Some people had some good, solid uncles that help bring them up and that will be there to correct them and this and this and that. So when some people is saying, heck no, this ain't cool, then let's the people who think it is cool don't attack those who think it's not cool. And then those who don't think it's, those who do think it's cool, those who don't think it's cool, don't attack them. Everybody ain't been through the same thing and everybody views stuff differently. And we just got to realize it.
Very good, boo. Thank you. Monologue again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank him personally later. He turned me on when he talk all wise. Okay, let's see. Let me get to some of y'all's comments. Shalom, shalom, Sister Delta. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, share, subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know when we go live. I would definitely go fill a nigga out. Yeah, I could understand that. I think that would make a big difference too. Like if you knew the guy personally. No. Metro Boomin is winning the Kendrick and Drake beef. Okay. He is winning that beef all up and down. I've been walking around the house singing BBL Trizzy. My husband was like, shut up. I can't help it. It's stuck in my head. Okay. So Metro Boomin is winning that beef right now.
That's only on TikTok because everywhere else, Metro Boomin is the laughing stock of this.
How? How?
Nobody is taking him serious. Bro.
That's crazy. That BBL Drizzy is everywhere. I seen people on Facebook talking about it. Yeah, make some drums, and that's what he did. And that everybody, I like it. Big Gahi, shalom and shalom. Thank you for joining us. Right, Kiki did. Told him make some drums. He sure did. Got look. Everybody's hopping on this beat too. Okay. You haven't heard one song? Oh my goodness. How are y'all not hearing these songs? Well, you know what? It's freaking TikTok because they're like every other TikTok is either Not Like Us or this BBL Drizzy. Like every other one is these two songs. It is just an instrumental and people are adding on to it. That's what's making it so, I think that's what's making it spread so much because it is just an instrumental. So people are freestyling over it. They're playing additional instruments over it. It's a thing. Y'all should go check it out just for some, you know what I'm saying? Just for some fun. You haven't heard one track? Oh, y'all, come on now. Y'all got to listen to the tracks. I bet y'all all know the lyrics to hit them up. Come on now. Go listen to the tracks. They're on the YouTube. Come on, Angelina. All right, so here I am gathering information for the show this evening, and I come across a very disturbing headline, and I had to take a second and make sure I read that article correctly because I'm like, what do you mean? He said, my son said Kendrick is cooking, boiling, stewing, roasting, whatever, any form of cooking, Kendrick is doing it to Drake. Okay. And I mean, at this point, he ain't even got to do nothing else. Like we're good on Drake. I don't ever need to hear a Drake track again. I don't think he ever needs to make a song again, if you ask me. So I'm like, what wealthy white people in the city of Baton Rouge have decided that they wanted to make their own city. So of course I'm like, let me go read this because ain't no way in 2024 you mean to tell me that white folks don't want to live amongst us Negroes? What? You mean to tell me in post-racial America there are wealthy white people who do not want to live amongst poor black people? Yes, that's what I'm telling y'all. So apparently it started because they wanted to have completely different schools. And listen, the term wealthy white citizens, I'm not making that up. That's the way it was reported, okay? They wanted different schools for their children than what this city apparently had to offer. So this started, I don't want to say like 2015, I think. So this has been going on for a while. But so they just got approval to form their new city, which they are going to call St. George, I believe. Wait, I wrote it down. Yes, St. George. That's what they're going to call the city. I don't know where they got that name. But so of course now the government of Baton Rouge is concerned because once you take all the wealthy citizens and their money out of the city, then who's going to pay the taxes? Who's now going to be funding this municipality if all the wealthy home owning taxpayers move? Because renters don't pay property tax. You pay your rent. The owners pay the property tax. So now what's going to happen to the schools? What's going to happen to the hospitals? What's going to happen to the emergency services that were, you know what I mean? That were in Baton Rouge previously. This is what everyone is concerned about. But, you know, at this point, it might be too late. When I was reading the article, it was saying that before they approved the town, they ensured that the town of St. George, the new town, had enough money to finance itself. So, listen, I don't know where these people are getting this money from, but they had enough money to make their own city. I don't know how much it was, but I'm pretty sure we ain't talking about no little piece of chump change, okay? So, I don't know what's going to happen. Some of the people who are citizens of St. George because of where they live are saying like, no, I don't agree with this. I don't see any reason why we separated from Baton Rouge. You know, we could have made it work, blah, 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 blah. Others are like, I didn't want to be around here no more. I was tired of my kids going to school with Negroes. I know in 2024, right? You would think that these things shouldn't be happening anymore, but the fact of the matter is that it is. And apparently it's okay as long as you have enough money to separate yourself, then you're fine. And I thought about something earlier. It's like with integration. You understand? Like they forced. Imagine you don't want to be bothered with someone for whatever reason, okay? And now the government is telling you that you now have to be made to live with this person. And now listen, I've always told y'all this. I'm not a fan of integration. I'm not a fan of forcing myself on someone who doesn't want to be bothered with me for whatever reason. I will stay my black self in my black space with my black family and my black people. I'm totally cool with that. Okay, but so now, you know, we've been forced to integrate, and it's like we can't even get protection in our black spaces anymore because now they're flipping this whole integration thing on us. With the diversity, what is that? The DEI, diversity, equality, and inclusion. They're now trying to do away with that altogether and say, well, listen, it's a post-racial world now. You black people have just as much opportunity as anyone else. You don't need affirmative action anymore. You don't need all of this help anymore. Look, you guys are doctors and lawyers and you have your own schools and you have everything else just like us. When the fact of the matter is clearly we don't, because you have a whole, when's the last time you heard of a group of wealthy black people splitting off from the city that they live in and making their own city? I ain't never heard of it. I've never heard of such a thing. But here we have it. But let's all keep getting along. Bunch of crap. Let me get to y'all's comments. Okay. Oh, that's the boot they still had us. They do. They do. They don't want to live with us. They don't want to be bothered with us. And so, you know, you might try to say, well, it's a socioeconomic thing because let's be honest, who wants to live around poor black people? So what I would say to that is the point of the community being blended the way that it is. I mean, after all, the government was the one that came up with compulsory education. So here we are again with this dismantled logic, because once upon a time I was educating my kids just fine at home, and then you came along and told me that I had to let you take my kid 8 hours a day and indoctrinate them and teach them whatever you wanted to teach them, and you bring them back to me worse than I sent them with you. And now on top of that, you want to tell me, oh, there's no more money for this program? But they've built this system to where guess what? If there's no more money for school, well, then how the parents going to go to work? Who's going to be watching the kids all day while the parents is at work? We can't have parents not going to work. We can't have people not working, because then the whole economy collapses. I don't know. I don't know. Let them get on it. Yes. Listen, let them go. You don't want to live with me? I don't want to live with you. But at the same time, it's like, if we're talking about poor Black people here, I'm pretty sure we're not talking about poor Black people who at least know how to grow their own food. Poor Black people who, they're poor. You understand what I'm saying? We're not talking about homeowning Black people. We're not talking about Black people who have a farm, Black people with land that they could possibly be self-sufficient. It's not the kind of people we're talking about here. So yes, let them get on, but also what about the other people? What about the people that are not part of the new city? What about old Baton Rouge? Now what happens to those people? You see what I'm saying? And it's like, I read a story a long time ago, and I don't remember it, but it talks about how when rich people decide they don't want to help poor people, now you have to worry about the poor people coming back and robbing you because you didn't help them. You had no interest in helping them become self-sufficient. So now the only choice they have is to rob and steal from the rich. So thought that's what private schools are for. So yeah, that's what private schools are supposed to be for. Yes. But limited seating in private schools, they have to keep specific teacher to student ratio. So I don't know. 50 just bought up the city. That's why they hate, and they'll be all right. This has been going on for like some years, like since 2015 at least. Louisiana is the poorest state in the country. Yeah, I've heard that as well. Yep, they are. And yet you have wealthy white people who don't want to live near Black people. I mean, never mind fixing the state of Louisiana. Never mind, let's come together and see how we can help our state. We're just going to have our little pocket of money amongst this bastion of poverty. And I saw a list of the richest people per state in America, and these people are all in the 10s and 20s of billionaires. Okay, billionaires. I mean, like 19, 20, 50 billions of dollars in a state, and sometimes there are 2 or 3 of them in one state. And looking at these numbers, it kind of made me feel like when it comes to hoarding wealth, the point is not to make sure that I have enough. The point is to make sure that there's none left for anyone else. No, I don't just want enough for me and my family and my generations. No, I want it all so that no one else can have anything. I mean, that level agreed. You don't want anyone else to have anything? You have to have everything, even though there's no way you could possibly consume all this. There's no way you or your children or your children's children could possibly consume all of this. You still refuse to hold your hand out to the poor. And when you're a billionaire, everybody's poor. I mean, come on. Anyway, some Christian schools are the same way. The only Black kids play sports. Dang. I'll let you in as long as you can shoot this ball and make these touchdowns. That's crazy. Plessy versus Ferguson was the best decision Louisiana ever made. Should have been upheld. Should have been. And again, I'm sure that the powers that be would have had no problem leaving it that way. But propaganda and all this other stuff. Anyway, that's another lesson for another day because we could talk about all that too. Integration was the worst thing that ever happened to us as a people. It is. And I keep saying that. Our people have been handicapped. We got to get over it. It's going to be a bitter pill to swallow. Yes, we have been. We have been. But you know what's so jacked up about it? It's not like we did this to ourselves. Well, I can't say that either because if we would have been being obedient, okay, but to a closer degree than that, that's like me coming to your home. It's like somebody coming in my house where I have everything I could ever need. My food is here, everything is here, my family, everything is here. I don't bother you, I don't ask you for anything, but you decide to come to my home and kidnap me and take me somewhere else and then tell me that I gotta become self-sufficient and provide for myself. Well, if you would have never moved me, I would be doing just fine. I wouldn't need you if you had not kidnapped me and brought me here. You understand? It's just crazy. True integration is the integration of wealth, responsibility, and resources. Nobody cares about sitting at their table. Right. Listen, the fight should have been for the resources. I don't want to come to your school. I don't have to shop at your mall. I don't need to come to your church. I don't need your water fountain. Okay? But we deserve the resources to build our own. And that's what they've always been trying to prevent, us building our own. Because let's face it, we're the ones that built this country in the first place. Okay. And they saw what we did with what we had. Now imagine if you left us alone and let us build our own. America will be totally different, and they know it, which is why, hey, instead of us letting you be truly independent, even though we claim we hate you so much, instead of us letting you be truly independent, we're going to make you codependent on us and now forever make you suffer. And now forever make you suffer. It's all from us being disobedient. Exactly. And we keep on doing it. Louisiana is slow. There are these types of cities in every major city. They're just not getting their own city. Yeah, it's crazy. It is really wild. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. So, when we go live here at the House of Mono, if you like something I say, or you just like to be a blessing to the House of Mono, you head over to the Cash App, $, the House of Mono. If you have questions about F3, you can follow at F3 Fringed Up Family Fest on your social media outlets at F3 Fringed Up Family Fest. You can also head over to 3mgmusic.com to get your tickets, to be a vendor, to sponsor a family, to donate to the activities at F3, 3mgmusic.com. I hope you guys plan on coming because I'm definitely looking forward to meeting all of you guys. Okay, let's see. Banasha, hiya, shalom, sis. Thank you for joining us. Like, share, subscribe. I know I said that right. I'm going to say it again. All right, so let's talk about the Illuminati prom. Okay. And I shout out to the TikTok creator. I don't remember his name, but that's what he called it. And I was like, it fits. It really fits. And so I'm not going to lie to y'all. Like, when I was a teenager, the Met Gala was the thing that you dreamed about going to. Like, if you were into fashion, this is something you follow, because everybody who's anybody was always at the Met Gala. Right. And so when I was younger, it's like, oh my gosh, I would love to go there. But as I got older and wiser, I realized that it really is just it is a show of vanity. It is a display of grotesque greed. It is almost an assault it's an assault to the citizens that keep these companies going, because what I found out is so the tables at the Met Gala, the tables start at $350,000. Start at, like when they show you the car on TV and they'll be like starts at 25, 675, and then you get there and it ends up being 40 something or whatever once you get everything you want with it. Same thing with the Met Gala. The tables start at $350,000. So what usually happens is a big company, Apple, Nike, whoever, will buy a table and then they invite their celebrity endorsers. Okay. So that's why you see these people wearing these certain designers. Maybe the designer bought a table and the celebrity was invited there kind of as a model for that designer. So you're like, what is it all for, right? Because $350,000 per table, okay? And then the ticket, mind you, you can't even buy a ticket. It's not like you can go on Ticketmaster and just buy a ticket. Oh, no, friend. The tickets cost $75,000, but on top of that, you have to be invited. You have to be invited. And so this is the crazy thing, because my oldest daughter, got an invitation to join a National Collegiate Scholarship Society because she graduated as an honor student. All praises to the Most High. And so, but on this invitation, they're telling her why she should join the society, and she should be so flattered that they, are extending an invitation to her for membership. And by the way, it's just $100. Well, wait a minute. I thought you wanted me. Why are you inviting me to pay you? That is crazy. But that's what's happening. So you have to be invited to pay the $75,000 to attend. And I'm sure that that's probably being sponsored by these wealthy corporations as well, right? So now, mind you, in 1995, and I don't know how familiar any of you are with Anna Wintour. If you've seen The Devil Wears Prada with Meryl Streep and Anne Hathaway, Meryl Streep's character was supposed to portray Anna Wintour. Now, Anna Wintour is the editor in chief of Vogue magazine. She has been for decades. So when it comes to the fashion industry, I mean, she's one of their idols. She is like the gatekeeper of the industry. You guys know how big Vogue is. You don't have to be into fashion to know how big Vogue is. You've been seeing that magazine on the shelves for years. Okay. So in this world that these people have decided to uphold, this is a really big deal, right? And so it's all to benefit what is essentially a perpetual museum display of clothes dating back to the 1500s. That's literally what this is all for. It is called the Costume Institute, and it is a revolving exhibit, which means like different times of the year they'll bring in different displays of the clothes. It's a revolving exhibit that they have at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. And I mean, it is so grotesque to me when you think about the fact that all of this money, all of these people's resources, their times goes into something so meaningless as clothes, when you have people in, dare I say, Rafah. Do you all know what even is going on in Rafah? Israel is now starting to bomb Rafah, which is in Egypt. And so when the world could be paying attention to this, when there could be attention to other social issues, we all are distracted by rich millionaires and billionaires parading in their fancy clothes that could feed a family for how many years? And so every year the Met Gala has a theme. And this year's theme was a garden in time, garden in time. And it was based on a story. I actually read a story. Y'all know I love to read. It's based on a story. The story is called Garden in Time. It's a short story. It was written by J.G. Ballard. It was published in 1962. Okay. And so in this story, there is a member of the nobility. I think he's a count in this story. It refers to his wife as a countess. Okay. So the count and the countess, they live in this beautiful castle, and they're isolated, secluded. There's nothing but meadows and hills all around them. Like nobody's going to be out there. It's basically the wilderness around where they are. Okay. So at night, the count goes outside to, enjoy the scenery. And right under the castle, or the whatever, the house, the chateau, let's call it a chateau. Right on the side there of the chateau is a little garden of crystal flowers, right? And so the count is out enjoying his evening. And as he's enjoying his evening, he looks off in the horizon, and there are 1, 2, 3 crests between his chateau and the horizon. Okay. So he looks out into the horizon, and coming up on the crest is a mob of people. And so the count goes down to his garden, and he picks one of the flowers, and the flower does a little magical dance, and la la la, the lights flash, and all of a sudden the people are way back at the horizon again. So the count goes to his house and continues his evening with his wife, and they discuss the flowers because there aren't that many big flowers left. There are only little flowers left, and the little flowers take a long time to grow. And in fact, the count thinks about it. He's like, since I've been here, those little flowers really haven't been growing, and the big flowers have kind of been that size the whole time. So 3-4 days go by. The count goes outside again, and he sees the mob is coming up on the second crest. It's like, wow, they're getting closer than they were before. So what does he do? He goes and he picks another flower, and it sends the mob back across the horizon. So they do this, him and his wife, for a few more days. And in between these days, they keep looking at the garden, and they keep noticing, we're running out of flowers. We're running out of flowers. What are we going to do? There's nothing they can do. So they're just enjoying their life, cleaning up, their chateau, until one day the mob is right outside their castle, their chateau. And so they run out to the garden, desperate, trying to save themselves, and they're picking up the last few flowers, but the little flowers only send time back a few minutes. They pick up the rest of the little flowers, and the flowers dissipate, and the mob overtakes them in their chateau and destroys everything. And so the irony in all of this is that these events, like the Met Gala, these celebrities who they invite and they parade in front of us at these events, could be considered these flowers in the garden. Because we could have all eyes on Rafah and all eyes on Israel and all eyes on Palestine, but wait, the beautiful people are walking by. And we could be working on prison reform, and we could be trying to restructure the legal system in this country. And why hasn't anybody done anything about the government? But wait, the pretty people are walking by. Why are kids homeless in this country where there are people driving $1 million cars? Why are corporations considered people, and therefore they are considered more than actually human beings? Why is all of this stuff going on, and how come nobody's doing anything about it? And right when it seems like the people are fed up and they've had enough, hold on, Beyonce's giving another concert. I know you was trying to get your money together this year so you could buy a house, right? But forget that. Beyonce's having a concert, and these tickets cost about 3 months of your rent. But if it's going to keep you from facing your reality, then I'm going to pay that 3 months rent for this couple of hours to push back whatever it is I got to face that I don't want to deal with. Everybody getting on your nerves at work. You can't take it no more. But instead of me applying myself and trying to go do something better, let me go lose myself and try to withhold the thing that I don't want to face. Let me go have some retail therapy. Let me try to shop my troubles away. These things that we are given to placate us from dealing with our real issues are these flowers. The count and the countess in this story is the 1%. It is the billionaires in this country. It is the government. The people who are making decisions for us without any consideration for how they really will affect us. The fact that you can look at our Congress right now and all of those people are older than most of the people in this country should very well illustrate my point. Because why for the life of us are all these old people making rules and they about to go? Who lets the people that are about to leave make the rules? When you're a senior, you don't care. I don't care what happens to this high school. I'm out of here. So why are we letting the seniors in this country make decisions for laws that they don't have to deal with? We got a whole generation of people right now who will not be able to retire at the age of 65. If you have not saved up your own money, you will not. And with these prices of everything, my goodness, the financial planning that has to take place if you are not already on top of this. But don't worry about that, because look what Nicki Minaj is wearing. Look at Doja Cat coming out in a whole wet t-shirt. Look at this, look at that. Don't worry. And listen to me. I am not a party pooper, okay? I enjoy my frivolous celebrity doings. I'm enjoying this little rap beef. Ha, ha, ha. It is funny. But it is also possible to be entertained and be aware of what's going on. A long time ago, the Romans came up with this idea of bread and circus. The people were starting to rebel. The government was becoming corrupt. And the people was like, wait a minute, we're not taking this anymore. The poor and the working class was starting to riot. And then the government said, all right, let's give them some welfare. Let's make sure they eat. And let's kill some Israelites in the Colosseum. Let's let the lions and the bears tear the Israelites apart. Oh, you didn't know that's who? Yeah, I know. Because you watch movies like Spartacus and Gladiator, and they made you think that, oh, it was just Romans doing this to other Romans. Come on now. Does that even sound historically accurate? Think about it. Take a second. When have you ever seen a people destroy themselves like that? So yes, let's throw the Israelites in the Colosseum and let the bears and the lions tear them apart, and that'll keep the people entertained. And so while they're being entertained and while their bellies are full and they're happy and content, we can just go on doing what we're doing. And these were the flowers in their garden of time, because it caused the people to be calm and stop revolting. It caused the people, it placated the people enough that they will believe the lie that these people want better for them. Well, of course you want better for me. You're giving me food stamps. You must want better for me. You're making sure I eat. You must want better for me. We need to understand in this country is that the implementation of food stamps was not so much for people, because remember, we were self-sufficient farming our own food. The implementation of food stamps was beneficial to the corporations who are now the grocery stores that we know right now. Because guess what? If they wouldn't have gave people food stamps, they would have went right back to gardening. Right back to what we know. Come to the city. Come be a part of American industrialization. We'll take care of you. We'll take care of your food. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. And no, but as soon as they're done with you and they're ready to close the factories in Detroit and the factories in Pennsylvania, and now we're done with you. Oh, well, you're out on your own. And now I'm not about, I can't sit here with no escape the matrix. How can you escape this? You can't. Unfortunately, you cannot. The Most High is your only answer. And try to, I don't, listen, if you're not trying to grow your own food right now, I don't understand what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what else you're waiting for. There are no more flowers left in the garden. Israel, every time they talk about a ceasefire, I think I hear Israel laugh. They just threatened a government official who was going to sign an arrest warrant for the prime minister of Israel. They threatened that man and told them if the arrest warrant went forth, that he was, I forgot what they threatened him with, but it was enough for him to say, okay, I won't. They say they want peace, but every time someone goes to try to barter peace, come on. And so you're probably like, well, what was the point of you telling us that if you're just going to tell us that there's nothing we can do to escape it? Because in the meantime, don't get distracted with these idols. It is one thing I read a quote a long time ago. It's the mark of intelligence to be able to entertain an idea without internalizing it, which means I can consider what you're saying. I can listen to you talk. We can have a discussion. That doesn't mean that everything you say, I now have to take it personally and attack you like you're trying to force it down my throat. No, we're just talking. And so what I'm saying is it's possible to just watch this and see it for what it is, but a lot of our people aren't doing that, and they'll watch these things, and now instead of setting their aspirations to pleasing the Most High, becoming self-sufficient and preparing for what's to come, now they're setting their aspirations on being like the people on TV, being like the flowers in the garden. They no longer are interested in overturning the system. They are now looking to become a part of the system. And that's the problem. We lose people every day to this idea of fame and fortune and becoming a part of the system. Oh, it absolutely. I can't imagine the kind of debauchery and blasphemy that takes place at that place. I'm not saying it's not. Den of Devils, exactly. Stacy Phillips, shalom and shalom. Thank you for joining me. That's like getting hired for a job, but you got to pay them before you start to work. It's just like these scams that's on the internet today. I saw one a couple days ago on Facebook, and this girl was telling this whole long story about how, she found a perfect job that lets her stay home with her kids, and she'll tell you about it for $500. Girl, if you don't get out my face, because I can keep my $500 and go do something with my children. What I'm going to give it to you for? Sister Perez, shalom and shalom. Thank you for joining me, sis. That's why I don't listen to the fake rap beefs. Hey, like I can be entertained and well informed at the same time. So yes, the gala is a distraction to reality. Absolutely, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. Big flexing. Germany and the United States are the number one providers of funding to Israel. I mean, who Germany and the United States, who are you beefing with? Who's gonna come against that? We're not talking about no little allies here. Like, no, they got big backs. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Our grandparents were still gardening. Microwave dinners was something that was new in the 70s. Exactly. All this convenience that they've sprung upon us now. When you think about in the big picture of time, all of this stuff is fairly new. This came all along with industrialization, when you saw people moving to the cities away from the country. So yeah, I mean, listen, we are slow. I am slowly seeing a return back to the old ways, because this system is failing us. It wasn't designed for everyone to succeed. But the thing about it is, if the people who If the people who it wasn't designed for decide to fall out, the whole system is going to fall apart. It's built on our backs. It wasn't designed for us to succeed, but it needs us to go along. Imagine if everybody didn't go to work tomorrow. Just imagine if for real, and they are trying to do a boycott on Friday, which tomorrow. They are trying to boycott tomorrow. They're asking people not to use their debit cards, not to buy anything, not to go to work, not to da-da-da. But I already had my Sabbath, and I don't know what y'all talking about. But just imagine if for one day that happened. The place would fall apart. The place would fall apart. This is why you don't see too many labor unions. If they let labor unions be successful, these corporations would fall apart. How come when we're having these conversations about raising minimum wage workers' salary, no one ever talks about the executives cutting their salary? Why is that not ever a part of the conversation? How come the only thing they go to is, oh, well, we're going to have to raise our prices? No, sir, that's not the only thing we have to go to. Give back some of them bonuses, cut back on some of that salary, and then you can pay people more than enough of a living wage. But, oh, then if we release all that money into the economy, it's going to cause inflation. Who cares? Because people will have enough money to pay for it then. It won't be tragic inflation. This inflation is tragic because you got people still working for $17 an hour and $7 an hour and bread is $5 a loaf. That's why it's a problem. It's crazy. That's the job, getting $500. That's how she gets to stay home with the kids. It's horrible. If people stop signing for loans for one day, it will collapse within minutes. Within minutes, it's all going down. The healthcare system, it's all going down. Let all the teachers not show up to school for one day. It's going to be hectic. But we won't do it. Listen, I used to be a union rep when I worked for Delta Dental of New Jersey. I was voted in, okay? Yes, the people voted for your girl. So, as a union rep though, they go through bargaining and negotiations, right? Where the union goes to management and says, okay, this is what we are asking for the members of our union. And so they go back and forth. And so the union has the power to strike, okay? The union members can say, hey, management is not being fair to us. We're not going to stand for this. Nobody's working until we get what we want, right? But there are rules to the strike. You have to come and picket a certain number of hours. Like, there are still rules to the strike. You do get paid, but it's only a portion of your original paycheck. And so let me tell you, that was enough to stop people dead in their tracks and basically have them say whatever management wants to give us, that's what we'll take. The union couldn't work because you had people sitting in the union meeting as union members going back to management and tell them what was going on in the union. It's the same reason we as Negroes can't get anything done, because you have people sitting in the Negro meeting as Negroes going back to the Caucasians telling them what's happening in the Negro meetings. This is why we can't ever have anything. No one wants to work together. They all feel like, oh, I'm going to get something. And the fact of the matter is, after the negotiations, the snitches didn't get anything. They were still sitting in their same desk doing their same job. There wasn't a raise. There was no promotion. I didn't see a brand new car. Nobody got a brand new house, nothing. We was all just sitting right there the next day having to deal with the whatever BS we decided to get. And so when the snitches were asked, well, why are you doing? Because this just needs to be over anyway. I'm just tired of this. Why can't we just what? Why do we keep having to settle? The Negroes sitting in the Negro meeting. $2.13 an hour. I read, and I didn't have time to verify this, but I read that tipping started as a form of payment because white restaurant owners did not want to pay their black staff. And so tipping was the only way that they could earn money, leaving it up to the customers to pay them. And so, but now look, I mean, you have white and black people working at restaurants, and tipping is still a thing. I mean, this little measly $2.13 an hour. Are you freaking kidding me? I know in Georgia, they're supposed to take that $2.13 an hour and however many tips you made for the day, and you're supposed to equal minimum wage pay for that pay period. And whatever you don't, they're supposed to, give you extra. But $2.13, you're not working for the customer. You're working for the. And look, I get it. I get it. We're all trapped here, right? Because even if we wanted to uproar, what are the lobbyists going to do? The lobbyists are going to make sure that $2.13 doesn't go 1 penny higher. And now guess what? It's back on you, the person, to not be a douchebag and tip your waiter. No, we're not gonna clap for that. Want that. I'm tired of it. It's a never ending. It's a never ending circle. It's a never ending circle. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. The story was really interesting. And I'm always interested on why we're doing all these things. Like, why? What is the point of having a perpetual exhibit of clothes? And you realize that in real life, it means nothing. It is only important because these people, and this is what I'll be saying about order. It is only important because this group of people got together and decided, okay, we're going to put our time and our money into this. We're going to have rules. We're going to have guidelines, and we are going to gatekeep this thing to make it valuable. And that's really all it is. A group of people decided that this was going to be important. The only reason you hear the names Picasso and Van Gogh and Kahlo is because a group of people got together and decided, oh, this is going to really be important. You think there weren't other painters and artists painting right beside Van Gogh, probably in the same mental institution what he painted Starry Night at? There's probably a few crazy people in there painting. But someone looked at Van Gogh's pictures and decided, nope, this is going to be important now. And so millions and billions of dollars are trapped in that world, that sphere. And you can't get your paws on it. It's paid more than that in prison or about the same. Probably less. They probably making less than that in prison. I'm telling you. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. If you want to check out that short story, you can just go and Google Gardening Time PDF. The PDF will come up and you can download it. You can do that with a lot of old books. The one I told you guys about last week, the short story, The Lottery, same thing. You could just PDF and pull it up on Google. I like to read. So when I found out about that, I was like, ooh, and I love talking about literature. And I want to bring it to y'all. So, anytime I can incorporate a short story or a piece of literature, I will. All right. So our main topic, you think you him. And now, like I said, it's kind of piggybacking off what we talked about last week. Y'all remember I showed y'all that video last week and we kind of stayed on that. But I wanted to talk to y'all more about this because we live in a day and time now where femininity is pretty darn rare. I'm going to say it's rare. And it's just astonishing to me. We live in an age of double speak, right? Where words just change their meaning. If I want something to mean something when I say it, and it means something else when you say it, that's totally fine. Like how I told y'all that now they're considering black people anyone with melanin. Anybody with brown skin is now considered black. Where good and well, at one time, black was only for American descendants of slaves. And in fact, you would have other brown people calling you black because they knew that you were different from them. Well, now the Negro voice is getting too loud, and we've had to find a way to hush these people. So we're just going to put everybody in the same category. Okay. These are the days and the times that we are living in. And so I was watching a clip on Facebook, and it was about JT from the City Girls and Sukihana supposedly having a rap beef. I wouldn't consider either one of them rappers, but whatever. So they supposedly have this rap beef, and it just kind of occurred to me that because JT's sitting there and she has on, the bust down, and she got on her lashes and stuff. And at looking at her, you would think that this was a picture of femininity. I mean, when you look at Suki and her mouth is closed, she looks pretty. She has her hair is done, her nails are done, her makeup is usually nice. Without opening their mouths, these seem like beautiful, attractive, feminine ladies. But as soon as that mouth opens, and I'm not speaking in terms of having an accent. I'm not going to take anything away from anybody. If you have an accent, that's just the result of where you live. Okay. But it's the content behind the accent that is off-putting. And this is what we don't realize, right? If I'm talking to my homegirls, wait, big guy, he said he can't agree. You can't agree what? That they're pretty? Now, these girls are, I'm not going to take that from them. These girls are pretty. I'm not saying their attitude is pretty. And like I said, once they open their mouth, it's like, ugh. But to just look at them, they're pretty girls. If I'm with a group of females and we roasting each other and we laughing and we kikiing and we having a good time, it comes off with a certain energy because we all girls and we all just kiki. So I say what I say. I don't have to think twice about what I say. We equals. You my partner. You my friend. You my homegirl. I cannot take that same attitude into a conversation with a man. Okay. And here's what we have to understand. A man is never going, a real man is never going to receive anything you say through the ears of your homegirl. Okay. What I mean by it. Okay. Have you ever slipped up, wives? Even not trying to be mean or nothing like that. Okay. Not trying to be mean, but you might have been telling your husband a story and he kind of got involved and you might have slipped up and been like, "Bitch." And he kind of looked at you like, hold on now. And you like saying it to your homegirl while you telling her a story, like you might slip up and call her the B word and it's nothing. But you can't do that to a man because he gonna be like, hold on now, wait a minute. Okay, it's a matter of respect for your audience. Let me say it like that. Okay, because if I can say things a certain way, and the reception will be different based on my tone. And see, here's what I think a lot of us don't realize. And I had to learn this lesson when I first got married. Okay. When it comes to respecting a man, it's not just I'm here, I don't cuss him out, and I cook and I clean. It's not just that. And it even goes beyond the sex. Like you have to understand that your respect for that man comes even in the way you talk to him, the way you address him. Your husband does not want to be treated like one of your friends, just like you as a wife do not want to be treated like one of his friends. When I ask my husband for something, or when I talk to my husband, I want a nice, soft answer. Every time he talks to me, I want him to end the sentence with baby and princess, and I want him to tell me I'm pretty and he loves me. And this is all I ever really want to hear from him. I'm a girl. That's just what I want. But as a man, when I'm talking to him, his set of wants is different from mine. He needs me to be more affectionate and soft with him than I would be with my friends. You can't talk to your man the way you talk to your friends, just like your man can't talk to you the way he talked to his friends. I don't know how many of y'all have kicked it with my husband, but if you hear the way he talked to his friends, let me assure you, he does not talk to me that way. Okay, I couldn't live with it. All right, like the way he talked to his friends is like, oh. Okay, it requires something different because of what I am and who I am. I'm a princess. You need to address me as such. This is what we be talking about when I be saying, y'all stay feminine. And if that man can't appreciate your femininity, then dismiss yourself from his presence. And we are taught that when it comes to men addressing us, but we women are not taught that when it comes to us addressing men. And now let me just say something to you, okay? You cannot fool someone day in and day out on how you really feel about them. Okay? It's going to come out in your actions or in the actions that you don't take. For example, my husband get up every day, and from the time his feet hit the floor until sometimes midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, he is working. He going here and there. He doing this and that. I try to get him to stop and eat. Like, I literally have to be up before he gets ready to go and have his smoothie made, or he won't drink it. Okay, it's literally like that. But I have no problem doing that for him because of the fact that he gets up and he goes. He don't ever come to me and ask me to get up and go. I mean, yeah, I got to homeschool the kids and keep the house clean. I'm not going. Listen, y'all, I went out today to the grocery store to get some butter and it started raining. I was like, oh, see, I should have never left the house. I'm not exposed to certain elements. My husband does not have me exposed to certain elements because he wants me at home soft and as pampered as he can afford for me to be, so that when he comes home, all I have for him is a yes, Big Daddy. How can I help you? Can I get you anything? What would you like for dinner? Let me make sure the bedroom is how you want it. Is there anything else I can get you, sir? And you can ask anybody that's been around here. Can I get you anything? That is a regular question that I ask to my husband. Why wouldn't I? Respect is the action. So when I constantly offering my service, this is my action to show my husband the respect, the adoration, and the love I have for him and all that he does. Now, if when this man came home, I'm still sitting on the couch in my pajamas, in my bonnet, looking at him crazy, the kids ain't been showered, they ain't been taught a lick of nothing, why would he feel respected? If anything, I'm telling him, I'm just as important as you are, and I can't be bothered to be moved. That is what that displays. When you do not take your role, I know nobody wants to hear this. I'm not supposed to tell you that you're supposed to be a servant to your husband. I'm not supposed to say that. But ma'am, sis, cousin, if you don't want to be a servant to your husband, why do you feel like your husband should be a servant to you? And see, the problem is you haven't learned to see that getting up every day and going to work is his service. That is his service to you. We live in this world where we want our men effeminized. And if he don't go to work and then come home and help me with everything and then gossip with me and then tend to my feelings, that he don't love me enough and he's not doing all he should do as a husband. That is some modern Diddy party bull crap. Listen, have you had a job, ma'am, sis, cousin? Let me tell y'all something I learned about myself, okay? I was a little hard-headed little Negro girl. I was, okay? I was not a listener. I was a feeler. Like, you could tell me the fire was hot, but I think I want to feel it for myself, thanks, okay? And I've had enough of that life, all right? I've had enough. I bumped my head enough. The Most High has dealt with me enough. I don't need that anymore, okay? But I've come to the point where I realized that I needed some of the lessons that I learned in order to appreciate what the Most High had in store for me. He knew he had this life for me. The Most High knew this life was coming for me, one where I wouldn't have to be out here working, trying to struggle and provide for myself. But he had to make sure that I was in a place to appreciate it, because I can tell y'all that I probably wouldn't have. Where you going? Okay. All right. Be safe. Love you. Okay. Sorry, y'all. That was the heavy. What was I saying? Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? If I had not went through those hard times, then I wouldn't be able to appreciate what I have now. Okay. And I'm mature enough. I have no qualms about saying that. So what I'm saying to you all, though, it's like, if you've been out here working a job, you know what all that entails. You getting up way early in the morning before your body is ready to get up, forcing yourself to be alert, friendly, and helpful when you really want to still be in the bed. Then you got to go deal with some boss man's bull crap who don't really care. He don't give two hecks about you. He just want to run his business. You got to ask him when you can go to the bathroom. Ask him when you can go to lunch. Ask him if you can stay home when you're sick. You got to ask him if you can have time off to go do stuff with your kids. If you've ever worked a job, then you understand what all it entails. And how dare you sit there when this man gets up and busts his behind for you and or his family every day and hold yourself in the same regard? How dare you? And here's what y'all don't. Even before we get to that point, you have to understand that this man that you are entertaining has the potential to be the head of your life. And even in that respect, you hold him in a certain regard and you watch the way you address him. Because if I need you to be the head of my life, I'm not going to do anything to tear you down. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but one thing I don't do is I do not personally attack my husband. I don't. He might be getting on my nerves, and I might think that what he's doing is not very smart at the moment, but you're never going to hear the words, "Oh, you're dumb," or "I don't understand what this is stupid." You're never going to hear his words coming out. You'll never hear me say he's sorry, late, none of that. First of all, because it's not true. But I'm just not going to say that to him. This is my strong tower. I need him to be strong to protect me. What kind of fool would I be to be trying to take away his confidence and emasculate him? Then who's going to protect me? You done emasculated the man so much that he hiding behind you, telling you to go get the strap. Excuse me? I mean, gun strap, not the other strap, y'all. That's a whole nother lesson. That's another lesson for another time. I wasn't going there. Okay, but here's what y'all gotta understand. Y'all say y'all want a man who gonna get up and get, y'all want a baller. Y'all want this. You want your man to be this. He gotta be a good businessman. You want him to go out here and he not gonna come home and be a punk to you. That he can't go out in the world and be a lion and then come home and think that you're going to walk all over him. That's not how this works, ma'am, sis, cousin. Listen, my husband loves me. Yes, he's very gentle and very soft with me. I know a lot of y'all don't want to hear this, okay? And this is to my wives. And my future wives, y'all can keep this in mind, but this is not for you to act on right now. This is to my wives. Ma'am, sis, cousin, a lot of your issues, a lot of your problems, a lot of the tension that you think you feel in your marriage, a lot of the why he won't talk to me, why he won't communicate with me, a lot of that can be resolved when you close the bedroom door. Sex ain't the answer for everything. Have you tried it? Have you tried it? Even when y'all might not be the best of friends today, you might not like him today, but have you tried it? I found it's a great conversation keeper, a great conversation starter. It's a great segue to address my concerns peacefully and respectfully. If you massaging his hands and rubbing his feet and his back and his shoulders, that's the perfect time to then respectfully, quietly, and peacefully, baby, you know what I was thinking, or you know what, this is kind of bothering me today. Can we talk about it? And even if he say, you know, maybe not right now, could we talk about it later? Okay, but at least now the conversation is going. His mind is open. He knows, you know what I'm saying, what's on your mind and what's bothering you. And there's not a man that loves you that after you please him is not going to make your concern his priority. I have not ever found that to be not true. But the problem is y'all want to fight these battles with your hands when that's not how the Lord called you to fight your battles at all, ladies. Your power is not in your hands. The power in your hands is to put them together to pray. The power in your mouth is to speak to the Most High. The Most High gave you a tool to use in your negotiations with your husband, but we're all modern women now and we demand to be treated like men. So even though I have the answer to my problems in between my legs, I'm going to go and try to fight this battle the hard way. Like taking a butter knife to a gunfight. That's just stupid. Why would you do that? That's working harder, not smarter. Let's get to some of these comments. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Suki looked like I don't know what. You know what? Let me say she was prettier before she got that freaking jaguar tattoo on her face. And what is up with girls getting tattoos on their faces? What is that? I feel like that should be illegal. No, really. That should be illegal. They got to stop. He said they be looking okay. Okay, they be looking okay. When they start talking, pop the balloon. Exactly. As soon as they open their mouths, it's over. Like whatever you thought, it's gone now. You know, they say it's better to be quiet and be thoughtful than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. Well, it's not gonna fly. Okay. Square up about okay. Y'all crazy. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, sis. Thank you for joining me. Oh, Shaka Boom. Thank you, sis. Thank you for joining me. I got no compassion with talking to them at all. He be screaming and stuff. Oh my goodness. I'll just be looking at him like, how are y'all? Ain't no way. Ain't no sugarcoating at all. You can't. When you got home, the boys was worried about you. I know they was. As soon as I walked in the door, they were like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Because like as soon as I drove off, it started raining. That was crazy. You know, they're not used to me leaving them. So, okay. Sister Delta, I don't even know what you said, but. No, Seriously, weapons of war. Yes. I mean, come on. It's just like how the Bible tells us we fight not against flesh and blood, but spirits and principalities. I mean, like, again, we become so modernized. We become so brainwashed. Listen to this world and their, psychology or whatever the heck. So now we're so busy trying to be men that we won't use what the good Lord gave us to use in order to get along with these men. There was opposites attract. Similarities repel. You know how they say if you can't get along with somebody, it's probably because you're too much alike. It's probably why you can't find a man, because you're too busy trying to be. And listen, I get it. When you got to go out here and you got to face the world alone as a single woman, I get it. Yes, so you got to be a little hard. I get it. You got to be a little hard. You got to keep your head on a swivel. You have to. But Mam's cousin, like, there's a way to walk in your femininity and still be on the defense. And there's also the wisdom in knowing when it is time to let down that defense. Now, when I'm saying let down your defense, I'm not saying just, become an open book and spill yourself all over the place. That's not what I'm saying at all. All right. But once we've come to a point where, okay, I'm interested in this dude is interested in me, let's maybe start to reconsider some things. I mean, some of y'all, as soon as you get on the phone or even the way you text, it's wrong. You talk to a man crazy. You don't even bother to laugh or giggle or nothing. You don't try to laugh at his jokes or nothing. You answering the phone, what up, nigga? Like, he don't want to hear that. He don't want to talk to one of his homeboys. As a future wife, I appreciate that advice. No, absolutely. Listen, don't say I ain't never told you nothing else. Don't agree with it at all, but this is the reason why so many Negroes going with them white girls. And it is because they know how to talk to them. I was watching this dating show one time, and it's specifically for Black women. And there was this saying that the dating coach had, Heather, light as a feather. That means we're smiling, we're friendly, we're charming on this date. We're not talking about the problems at our job. We all know how hard it is to be a Black person in America. When you're on a date with this man, you just want to have fun. You just want to have some pleasant and friendly conversation. No need for trauma bonding. A lot of us do that. A lot of us will hook up with people who have had similar traumatic backgrounds, and now this is the thing that's going to bring us together. Like, golly, what was I watching? I was watching something. I was watching The Circle, and the guy was like, well, I lost my dad and she lost her dad, and so we became friends. That's trauma bonding. A trauma is nothing to bond over. Like, why do I want to build a relationship on a bad experience? Now, every time I think of you, this bad experience is going to be brought to my mind. Like, how are we ever going to have any kind of healthy or happy relationship if that's the case? We have to stop doing that. And so Heather, light as a feather. On our first date, we're fun. We're smiley. No man wants to be with a woman who's not going to try to make his world better. Like, our job is to beautify life. We are put here to romanticize life. Like, a man can build a house, but the woman is supposed to make it a home. You go in and you put in your furniture and your rugs and your pretty things and your soft, fluffy towels and the pillows, and you add all these things that add a luxury and a personalization and a softness and just a beauty to his life. But if you can't even do that on the first date, well, then Mam's his cousin. And then again, we've been fooled into thinking that we're equal with men, so we'll cheat ourselves even out of that experience. Y'all will cheat yourself out of a first date and let a nigga come through with a bottle and a bag. You ain't gotta take me nowhere. You just come over. We can Netflix and chill. Why? What are you adding to his life if he can do the same thing with you that he can do at his house by himself, or with his homegirls, or with the last 10 girls that he was talking to? What are you doing different? Y'all don't even make these men spring for a whole meal. So what? You too busy trying to be his friend. You're leaving no room for him to see you as a wife. And here's what I mean by that. You don't have it, you're not establishing any boundaries that are saying, no, I'm not one of your little friends. How you do that? If it's Saturday night at 8:00 and he call you talking about, hey, what you doing? I'm busy. I have plans already. I don't care if them plans is laying in my bed and scratching my behind and watching reruns of Scandal. Them was my plans. You caught me too late. I'm sorry. I am not one of your little friends, sir. You don't think that you just gonna run by here and deal with me whenever it's convenient for you. He take you out on a date, and here you go pulling your card out trying to pay. For what? Are you looking for a provider? Are you trying to be the provider? What are y'all doing? And now, ma'am, sis, cousin, listen, if that's your ministry to provide for the man in your life, by all means, go forth in your blessing. That's never been my ministry. And I don't subscribe to, proclaim, or teach that that's proper, because it's not. If you want the man to be a provider, you have to give him a chance to provide. But if you're always trying to have pissing contests with him about who can provide more, then you one of his homeboys. You competition now. Y'all trying to outball each other. What is that? Well, he shouldn't be intimidated by a woman having her own. Then stop being intimidating. But see, here's the problem. A lot of us don't know how to have our own and not be insert explicitive here. We don't know how to have our own and still, and there's a reason for that. Like there is a reason for that. We've bought into this feminist lie that, there was a time when women didn't have property and da 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 da. And the fact of the matter is, none of that's true. From the beginning of time, fathers were passing on property to their daughters. They would hold property for their daughters. Even as recent as our slavery, slaves were passed down to the daughters. Times get hard, she could sell the slave for money. Multiples of them. I mean, so it was never a thing where, women were just poor and destitute, never had anything, and we were just subject to our men. No, when we have to stop falling for that lie, because Black lady, in this country, that's never been your story. All you had was all your man had, and y'all had to build it together. There's nothing wrong with that. But we've bought into this lie of feminism. We bought into this modern day womanhood lie that says that if we can't provide on the same scale that man can, then for some reason there's something wrong with it. No, it's not nothing wrong with you. If you would just shut up and sit there and look pretty, he would take care of all of your problems. But instead of you falling back and staying in your place, again, you want to have a pissing contest with the man. And sure, he'll sleep with you. He might even take you out a few more times. Sure, you're a good time. You're funny. Ha ha ha. And you're not bad to look at. He gets compliments when he brings you around. So sure, we'll keep you around until I find one who has everything that you have and also knows how to act. And don't think that it's not out there. our masculinity, ladies, comes out in the way that we do things, in the way that we carry ourselves. I mean, even to how we dress. I noticed that I carry myself differently depending on how I'm dressed. If I got on some sweatpants and a sweatsuit or whatever, listen, I'm just running in and I'm running out. Don't nobody look at me. But when I'm dressed, that's different. Like I'm on, okay? I'm on. Like, and we have to submit ourselves unto the Lord so that he can get our spirits back in the right place. Remember, the daughters of Zion are haughty. This is why we're walking around with alopecia and balding hair and fibroids and everything else that seems to only affect us Black women. It's one thing. I'm going to tell you what hurts me. It hurts me when I see my sisters and my cousins suffering the effects of our sin through their hair, because I know how important our hair is to us. Oh, a woman's hair is her glory. And not only, it's my man's glory too. Okay. And y'all, I pray every day, like, Lord, please let me keep my edges. Let me keep my hair. Like, because it's so important. People don't realize how important your hair is until you don't have it anymore. And that is a devastating thing. And it ain't even got to be something as tragic as all your hair. Let your edges start falling out. Let this start receding. It's one thing when it happened on a man, they can cut it all off and go bald and it's cool. But ladies, now you got to spend hundreds of dollars on wigs and everything else trying to make yourself presentable. And then you got to wonder, okay, when I'm ready to let this man in, like, and I got to take this wig off. Now it's so many problems that only we have to deal with. And I can't figure out for the life of me why we can't look around us and figure out what the heck is going on and what we need to change. It's simple scientific observation. You come up with a hypothesis. I think that this is only affecting Black women and we need to find out why. Now we're going to observe. Let's see how many groups of women actually suffer from alopecia in their communities. Why are Black women funding the whole Korean beauty supply industry on our own? Why? And please don't think that just because these white girls is walking around with bonnets that they getting them from the beauty supply store. They not coming to the hood to go to the beauty supply store. They is not, okay? Keek said white girls get no action. Period. Heather Mail be waiting for them brothers to come right. Be waiting because they know what they dealing with. And they know all they have to do is be the exact opposite. And some of y'all make it so easy. You make it so easy. So many women misuse their powers. Women don't understand that they can bring the best out of a man or break him down. Exactly. Like, instead of you using your powers for good, and instead of you using your powers to bring peace to your home, peace to your marriage, keep your man focused. Because, I bet you didn't think that. You'll be surprised what happened if you start meeting that man's needs the way he needs them met. Not when it's just convenient for you, ma'am, sis, cousin. Again, stop believing this modernized lie that, now we're married, so I don't have to have sex if I don't want to. That's not what the Bible says. The Bible says your body is not your own. It is for your spouse's use. And I'm not talking to the men, so stop. Well, what about me? We're not talking about that right now. What I'm telling you is that if you start meeting his needs the way you want him to meet your needs, you both will be much happier. But it has to start somewhere. Ma'am, sis, cousin, your job as the woman is the emotional labor. That is your job. That is our job. The emotional labor, the spiritual heavy lifting. Why? Because you want this man to be able to be full and be focused and be out here worried about securing your income. Your husband should know that you are praying for him every day. You get up before he get up. Even if it's 15 minutes, you lay your hands on that man and you pray for him. He should know that his wife is praying for him. I love to hear my husband tell people, yeah, my wife be praying for me. I love that. That is like one of the highest compliments to me. Well, I pray for him when he's not around. Why, dummy? Why? Stop trying to be so super deep about everything. That man can know that you're praying for him. Come on. I saw a preacher's wife on TV a long time ago, and this stuck with me. And she was like, I make it a point. They have been married for a long time. And she said, I make it a point to tell my husband yes whenever possible. And I thought about that. And I mean, it worked for her. They've been married a long time and he seemed happy. And herefor too, I try to make it a point to tell my husband yes whenever possible. Is it now? Am I saying that, oh, every single time you got to just, no, I'm not saying that. Sometimes it's just not possible. We have hormonal changes. You might just be tired sometimes. Okay, but ma'am, sis, cousin, it shouldn't be days at a time. There shouldn't be a day streak of you guys not having sex unless, you know, it's time of the month. And you should not see, and here's the other thing, you should not be using your powers to keep that man distracted from what he needs to do. And like, you should not be using your powers to keep him from paying bills and securing your family financially because you got to have this bag and you got to have these shoes and you got to have these clothes. And a lot of you all, instead of getting on your knees and crying and praying to the Lord, Lord, give my husband a new idea. Bless him with some creativity. Bless us with a new stream of income. Instead of you using your powers in that way and going and talking to the Lord and having him make a change, you'll just keep crying and complaining to your husband to the point where he's jeopardizing the roof over your head to keep you happy. And now you looking at him, and either way, you're not satisfied. Come on. And we wonder what's wrong with our families. What's wrong with our families? Because we not in our place. We too busy trying to be the head. And anything with two heads is dysfunctional. As y'all know, we saw that man marry that woman with two girls, one body. Dysfunctional. It's not supposed to be. They're not supposed to be two heads. There's no need for two men in the house. Y'all not gay, is you? Unless you want a Dwayne Wade. Some brothers weak, though. It's definitely a market for that. I guess it is. I guess it is. So, hey, if that... But see, these will be the same one. These women who sit here and I guess out of desperation feel like, oh no, my man ain't got to do nothing. I'm gonna pay for everything and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And it's all good when y'all dating, but as soon as y'all get married and start having kids and you start wanting him to step up, you wondering why he not stepping up, why he not doing anything. Well, ma'am, sis, cousin, you the one that created this situation, not him. And see, that always bothered me because how do I know if you even like me? Like if I'm the one doing everything, because you're the man, you're supposed to lead. You gotta like me more than I like you. I know I'm not supposed to say that. Nobody wants to hear that. What do you mean? Listen here, ma'am, sis, cousin. And I'm not talking about oh, he's sweating me. Oh my gosh, why he always on me? No, I'm not talking about like that. He gotta like you enough to take on the responsibility of you and or any children that you have with you. I don't have to like him. I didn't have to like my husband enough to do all that. I had to like him enough to say yes when he asked me. I had to like him enough to agree to it, but I didn't have to decide. Yep, I want to. Yep, I want to take care of him for the rest of his life. That wasn't on me. The Most High not gonna ask me about him. And this is a problem with getting with a man who doesn't understand his whole purpose. He does not understand that his purpose is basically to take you, clean you up, and to present you before the Most High. And then here, y'all, a lot of y'all don't want to be the clay either. You don't want to accept that. You don't want to let that man work on them things that he sees that needs to be worked out of you. It's a reason for everything. It works the way it works for a reason. He's supposed to take you and bring you up in righteousness. And now he has a righteous help me. And he can present you spotless before the Most High. Atticus! Hey, Atticus!
Nice to see you again.
Oh, you're so sweet. Okay, I'm reading these last little comments, okay? Some don't even want to build with. And so that's another issue. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of y'all feel like y'all want to go out here and get a man that's already complete. You want him to already have the money. You want him to already have a house. You want him to already have the car. And that's just, listen, I feel like when you are looking for a situation like that, you're just setting yourself up to, you're setting yourself up. You're setting yourself up to be disrespected, because at the end of the day, he can always look at you and say, I had all this without you. I did all this without you. I don't need you. I don't want my husband to look at me and ever say that. No, bro, we built this together. But he's the man. Yes, by all means. This is the house of Mono, the Phillips family. Yeah, but I was there every day too. You understand what I'm saying? So no, I'm thankful to the Most High that we built what we have and that we are continuing to build. The princess treatment and respect hit different when you come out the house looking modest and feminine. Every day. Even my husband treats me different. Now, when I'm all in a dress and everything, he opens my doors for me all the time. I don't never really have to ask. He's always, right there, making sure he's holding on to me. But when I have on pants and sneakers, not so much. You understand? El Hombre Negro. Shalom and shalom. Thank you for joining me. Okay, go ahead, baby.
No, I don't have to use it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You said, can she pray to God, but she made money too? Well, I don't understand what you're saying. Better to sleep in the corner of a housetop than with a troublesome wife in a big house. Facts, absolutely. We know how we get when we're not happy, when we're discontented. What? I don't know. I don't understand what you mean. The Most High fired my wife in January. What do you mean? She was able to quit her job? I hope that's what you mean by that. Auntie Angelina said, nephew, your hair's so cute.
Me?
Say thank you. Yeah. I did his hair, y'all. I could braid. I just can't braid my own hair. Paxton, everybody. You gonna say hey, Paxton? You wasn't asleep. You weren't? Oh, that's the only reason you came down here? Because you had to pee?
Fort at 9:49.
You rebuilt your fort?
Yes, ma'am. It was so
cool.
quick. It was so quick. You have to do it at 9:45.
Cool.
It was so quick.
What'd you do to the light? Boy. Touch the lights.
I thought that was broken.
Yes, Atticus is getting big, y'all. He ran his first 50-meter dash yesterday. What you come in third in your age group? He was third place with the 6-year-old. He ran a 50-meter dash at an Atlanta track club event yesterday. So it was fun.
My heart was beating so fast.
You what? Your heart was beating so fast?
I thought the skin was broken.
I thought it was too, but it's not. Say hey to Auntie Angelina. She said, hey, Paxton.
Hi, Auntie Angelina.
You already knew you felt that through the spirit. You felt what through the spirit, Keith? What did you talk about? So, yeah, I just wanted to share that with y'all. And I really I want us to work on it. Wives, future wives, let's work on how we're talking to our men. I mean, it's it never hurts to add a little kindness. And our first ministry is always at home. Okay. Stop reading the comments out loud while I'm talking, please. Our first ministry is always at home. Okay. And so when we talk about the Proverbs 31 woman and how she always has the law of kindness on her tongue, are we doing that at home, ladies? Can your family say the same thing about you? And I'm not saying it's easy at all. It's hard to be nicest to the people closest to you because you feel like, okay, this is my family. They should understand that they getting on my nerves and da 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 da. But the fact of the matter is, your family is the people that you need to be the nicest to because we are together all the time. Okay. Because we are together all the time. So no, we need to be nicest to each other. So I want to encourage us, please, to start speaking with a little more kindness. Even if you feel like you're being super duper kind, just go in there and be a little super duper sweet, super duper much sweeter. Come in a little bit more. Yes, dear. Is there anything I can do for you? Show them a little extra attention when you go home and close the bedroom door, after we finish here. Y'all know what I'm saying? Put it on. Let your hair down. Wear that little silky thing that he like. And see what happens. See if you don't get a better response to your request. And now, ladies, I'm not saying to use this to try to take advantage of your man. Okay. Listen, you can't get blood out of a turnip. You know what your finances is looking like. And as long as that man is doing the best that he can do, we'll pray to add more. But, ma'am, sis, cousin, listen, you have the ability to encourage that man to go and look for another stream of income. You have the ability to ask the Most High to inspire him with more creativity and more ideas. You have the ability to come up with some ideas yourself and present it to him. I'm not saying you can't do things, but it's decency and order. You got an idea for a side hustle, talk to your husband about it. Make sure he's okay with it. How much time is it going to take away from what you're already doing? And that's a big factor for me. I can't just pick up something that's going to require a lot of my time because the kids' education is my priority. Supporting the businesses that we already have running is my priority. So for me to go out here and try to start my own business, that would be counterproductive because now I'm taking away from what me and my husband are already building. It's like I'm literally taking bricks out of the house that we're trying to build and taking them over here and trying to build a house on my own just for me. That's counterproductive. That's not going to work with what we've got going on here. Daddy said, why do you have a water bottle under your hood? I don't know. Why do you have that, Paxton? He's sleepy, boo. It's past his bedtime. It is past his bedtime.
You mean our dad?
Oh, fire her like that. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, big guy. Yeah, I don't know why Paxton got the water bottle in his hood. Oh, I'm sorry, big guy. I hope that you recover from all that. You want to tell the people about the businesses?
Top tier parties are the bouncies, and print doctors are the search, and monos side buoys are the puppies.
Are the dogs? That's right. We are. Why do you guys come down here and drink my tea? Why? Both of you do it. Why are you drinking my tea, Paxton?
Because it's good.
Anyway, stop it. Okay, I'm gonna kick y'all out.
No.
I'm gonna kick y'all. Y'all about to be fired from the show.
No.
I'm about to fire y'all. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me this evening. Like, share, subscribe. If you have not already, please turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. If you like something I said, or you just like to be a part of the efforts here at the House of Mono, please head over to the Cash App, $ the House of Mono. You know what we say, $1 or $2 will do. $1 or $2 will do. Ow, stop, buddy. Stop pulling my hair. It's only 2 days old. It ain't ready for all that yet. If you're not already following me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I am at Miss Mono's World in these content creator streets. Also, please follow my illustrious, delicious, oh so sexy husband, No Diddy, at Monologue Magad, MONOLOGMAGAD. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. No, I'm tired of them coming for my tea. They do that every time they come down here. I'm gonna just start drinking it all before y'all come. That's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to drink it all before you guys get down here. I hope something that I said to you today was helpful, whether you're listening live or on the replay. I want to encourage y'all. Listen, start your day with a word of prayer. Start it in your day. If you have time in the middle of the day, okay? Pray. Make a conscious effort to check in with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Make sure your mind is right. Make sure your spirit is right. I know we all have a lot going on out here and it can get rough, but we want to make sure that our spirit is always in line with what the Most High is doing. We want to make sure that it is the intent of our heart to always keep the laws and the commandments and the faith in His Son. Okay? Y'all got anything else y'all want to say for we ski daddle?
Huh? Never cheat at anything.
Never cheat at anything. That's what you wanted to say.
And don't break the laws.
Don't break the laws. That's right. Move it. Who told you to touch that? How'd you make the balloons go off on the thing? Oh, that's so cool. Okay. All right. Well, we love y'all so much. Thank y'all for hanging out with us tonight. The rundown: Saturday Bible study. Hopefully this Saturday between 10 and 12. Monologue is not here, so I cannot confirm that with him, but that is the plan. Bible study sometime between 10 and 12. He will announce that later. On Monday, check in for F3 updates. I'm not guaranteeing that right now. We do have a lot going on business-wise. And my husband is going to be like literally working as much as he can for the next few months. So hopefully Monday he'll make it for the live. Wednesday, Truth Be Told Flex Podcast, 8:30 on YouTube. Truth Be Told Flex Podcast. Guess who's going to be on there next week? Yes, your favorite housewife. I'll be there. Monologue will be there. We'll be talking about why Boaz don't want your ass, and also dropping more information about F3. That's going to be the Truth Be Told Flex Podcast this Wednesday at 8:30. So make sure you tune in for that. If you don't follow me in these content creator streets, I am at Miss Mono's World. Make sure you are following me. What you say, honey? Make sure you are following me at Miss Mono's World so you can keep up with all that we have going on over here. Join me again next Thursday, same black time, same black station for Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass. I don't know what we're going to be talking about, but it's going to be good. I love y'all so much. Thank you for hanging out with me. Shalom and good night. Mono.
Living super clean. That it came
One time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing.
Tune in to Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass with your host, Miss Mono.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono.
Every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. live on YouTube at Miss Mono's World and Monologue Magad. Now also available on the Saya TV on Roku and Fire Stick. Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass. Don't miss Listen, sisters and cousins.
Let them save you in the end like a Seminole. Be as help me, shout it, let the silly go.